The Stop Oil protesters are causing havoc all around the world with their protesting, and as I like to call them, the eco crazies. Do I agree they have a point and what they're protesting about is valid? Yes, I do. Do I agree with the way that they are protesting? 100% no.
Hop. Vous voyez, c'est pas trop collé, c'est du goudron. Ça colle pas, monsieur, c'est bon. Solide, hein.
Ah, maman! Ah!
Oui.
Ah! Ah! Ça fait super mal! Ah, t'es ouf!
Oui.
Ah!
Y a rien, y a rien.
Ah!
The police there have the right attitude, in my opinion. Those protesters glued their hand to the road, and the policeman just literally ripped their hand from the road. Fair enough. In some respects, someone would call that assault, but at the end of the day, if they weren't glued to the road, then it would never have happened, would it? In every country, the rules are the same. The road is for the cars, the lorries, the trucks. The pavement, or as the Americans call it, the sidewalk, is for the people, the pedestrian. These protesters are absolutely moronic. They are trying to stop a coach which weighs a minimum of 20 tons. So what chance have they got of stopping it? Zero. They're telling the coach to stop because there are people in the road. We've already established the road is not for people. So the people need to get out of the way. Why should the coach stop? And it doesn't.
As if you sit down in front of it, if you sit down in front of it, if you sit down in front of it.
The tall, privileged guy with the posh voice is telling the protesters to sit down in front of the coach. But you don't see him sitting down, do you? Oh no, he carries on walking backwards and dictating what other people should do.
Everyone sit down! Sit in the line. Stop! Stop! Stop!
There you've got a protester calling the coach driver an effing idiot. Well, how is he the idiot? He's the one doing his job in the place he should be, and you're the one in the way doing something that you don't need to be doing. So I don't think he's the effing idiot. I think you are the. And not only that, but you've got a young boy there. So what are you teaching him? I mean, surely he should be at school. And if it's not in school time, then he should be doing something a lot more constructive than being in the road in front of traffic, which is obviously very dangerous. But that doesn't matter. That doesn't bother you that he can get hurt. The drivers have simply had enough of their days being disrupted with these protesters, and so they take matters into their own hands and they gently move the protesters out the way, making it plain that the car is going to move. And if the protester gets bumped and maybe ends up having a bruise, then the answer is don't be in the way in the first place. Being in the middle of the road and stopping people from getting to work and people from getting their kids to school has got to be so frustrating. But that isn't the worst part of what these protesters do. This is.
Stop sitting in roads so that my friend couldn't get the treatment that she needed.
This lady is extremely upset because her friend was in an ambulance and the ambulance came up to a stop oil protest and it couldn't get through and she couldn't get the treatment she needed and she died. And this is why this lady is so upset, which is 100% understandable because these protesters only think about themselves. They don't think about the chaos they are causing in other people's lives. And even in this case, allegedly a death.
Instead, let me ask you another question, Phoebe. Let me ask you, what bills do you currently pay? Who pays for your accommodation at university?
My student loan.
Have you ever paid any bills in your lifetime?
No.
So you don't know what it's like to be a homeowner and not to be able to afford your energy bills and then see some stupid young people throwing soup over a painting in a gallery that has nothing to do with the fact they can't afford to pay their bills. You don't know what it's like to pay a bill, Phoebe, do you?
No, but
what do you understand about an ordinary family who can't afford to pay their fuel bills, who needs ordinary fuel to be delivered, but because of green taxation, their bills are now so expensive they can't afford them? And if we stop oil, how much more expensive do you think fuel's going to be, Phoebe? Or is it that you're just spouting out words that you and your friend think look good? How is it related to stopping oil to throw soup over a painting in a gallery? How is that related? How is it helping the poorest people in my country?
I understand that right now fossil fuels are subsidised 32 times more than renewables, even though renewables are 9 times cheaper. Would you rather your bills were £3,500 or £400?
I would rather that you and your friends stopped wreaking havoc in the City of London. I'd rather you stop throwing soup over paintings, stop putting orange paint on the windows of Harrods, stop sitting in roads so that my friend couldn't get the treatment that she needed. And I'd rather you went out, worked a bit. Maybe you could do some litter picking on a beach. Maybe you could do something that was practical and helpful. But I don't think being obtrusive and obstructive and lecturing ordinary people when you have no idea what it's like to try and work and make ends meet in the UK. You talk about millions of people. You talk about people who are in poverty. You have no idea what that's like because you live in the rarefied atmosphere of a university at some wokerati place and you think what you're doing is changing the planet. I think what you're doing is pissing people off, and I think you could allocate your energies more effectively by going out and picking up litter on a beach. Thank you.
I have to agree with everything that lady just said. She's privileged. She's at university. She's never paid a bill in her life, and I bet she's never worked a day in her life either. She gets everything from her student loans, and this is why people like her protest, because they are privileged. They don't know what it's like to not be able to use the lights or keep themselves warm, and they can afford to throw a tin of soup over a Van Gogh painting. I mean, like the lady said, how does that make your cause good? How does doing that change anything? Oh, I've just thrown a tin of soup over a Van Gogh painting that's worth £40 million. Oh, that means the government. They're going to change everything and they're going to do exactly what I want. Really? Well, they're not, are they? Placing all that orange stuff all over that building, surely that's criminal damage. And that's not the only time they do this, but luckily, in a minute, they are going to get arrested for something that they did, and good. About time as well.
Oh, for God's sake.
No,
You
no,
morons.
stop it. Humanity is failing. Everything that you hold dear.
And how did you
Is in
get here
peril.
today?
She doesn't answer the question of how she got there today. How convenient. Is that because she arrived by car or on public transport using the very fuel that she's protesting against? Just goes to prove that she's another activist hypocrite.
The flower gardens that you love. The
And
artwork
all
that
you're
you
doing is
treasure.
ruining them, you
The
brats.
buildings that you adore. Our traditions.
Stop it! Stop
What
it!
is the point in a garden if you can't feed yourself?
Shame on you!
What is the point in a garden if you can't eat? We are part of Just Stop Oil. We're asking the government to stop licensing fossil fuels, which are a death sentence to us all. The Secretary General of the United Nations has said the true criminal radicals are the governments that
I absolutely love the lady who is watering the activists. Oh my God, that is so funny. But what we're going to see next is definitely not funny. And it just goes to prove what idiots these protesters can be.
They're at it again, and this time the target is, of all people, Taylor Swift. The climate vandals cut their way in and spray painted private jets at a London airport where the superstar's plane had just landed. Taylor is performing in London for 3 nights. Turns out these knuckleheads picked the wrong plane. It's not Taylor's.
Knucklehead is an amazing description for these idiots. Anybody can go onto Google and get a tail number for a specific plane. I don't condone spraying that stuff anywhere, and definitely not on a plane. But you'd think that they would have the intelligence to choose the right plane. I mean, they do get arrested for it, and that is coming up. But, spraying a plane like that can be easily washed off. But what they did here to an English heritage site caused real damage, and it can't just be washed off. Can you please explain to me how damaging Stonehenge, which is a place of historical significance in the UK, how is that furthering your cause?
I think it's terrible. Lord, this is, heritage. This is something that is beautiful. Why would you do that? I don't understand it.
It belongs to everyone, doesn't it? This history. So to just come and plonk something down, I think it's just plain evil.
It's just the wrong way to go about it. No, it doesn't make me like attuned to their message. I'm not looking at their message and going, wow, that's really having an impact on me. It's doing the opposite.
Just Stop Oil say that this is powdered paint and it should just come off in the rain, but the fact is it's been widely condemned, and English Heritage say they're sending specialists to now assess the level of damage.
Those people giving their opinion about what happened at Stonehenge on the news there have got the right idea, and especially that guy who spoke last, because watching them destroy things doesn't make me or millions of others support their cause. And now we get on to the arrests.
Time is 12:10. You are under arrest for conspiracy to interfere with national infrastructure.
It's ludicrous, but okay.
You do have to say the thing that may harm your defence if you do not mention your own question, something you later on at court. Anything you do say may be given in evidence. The grounds are that we've received information that between May and June of this year, you were part of group planning activity to disrupt national infrastructure, in this case airports, and that will lead to serious disruption.
Okay.
Cutting a hole in a fence at an airport and running into the airport is breaking the law. You are trespassing and you are painting planes with your orange shit, and that is called criminal damage. And then you have the audacity to say, this is my home, you can't arrest me. Well, yes they can, and they are.
Pick her up, this is my home. You cannot come to my home and arrest me.
Yes they can, and they just did. If you break the law, then you are going to get arrested. Whether you are protesting peacefully or not is not the point, is it? This has been just a very tiny section of what these protests get up to. If you want to see more, then let me know in the comments and I'll put together another video. If you've enjoyed this one, then please hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you on the next video. Ta-ta for now.